like, share, and subscribe to the channel. So, India managed to score 249 runs for the loss of 9 wickets versus New Zealand. Both teams have already qualified to the semi finals. It's just a matter of who finishes first in the group. It's a very tricky wicket that the one India and New Zealand played on. And it must be said that in the end, India should have got close to 270 runs after that recovery in the middle overs. But thanks to some excellent bowling from New Zealand and some wonderful fielding by their top players, they have restricted India to 249. Rohit Sharma once again lost the toss. It's the 13th consecutive toss that he has lost, and on that dry, dusty pitch, India were put into bat first by Mitchell Santner. And Rohit, Shubman, Kohli were all out in the very first 10 overs. That catch of Glenn Phillips to dismiss Virat Kohli was one of the highlights of the innings. It was a great catch. Phillips is undoubtedly the best fielder in the world right now. Just a few weeks back, he caught a brilliant catch to dismiss Mohammad Rizwan in the game against Pakistan in Karachi. And that was to his left side. This one went to his right side and it was an equally spectacular catch. It was a great catch and it turned the momentum in favor of New Zealand because Virat Kohli was looking very good. He was looking confident. He was looking confident after a very long time. Maybe because both teams have qualified into the next phase of the tournament, pressure wasn't on him too much, but still he was looking very good and poised on the crease. But the moment of brilliance from Glenn Phillips changed the game on its head. It was a brilliant catch. India was struggling 37 for 3 in the first 10 overs with Rohit, Gill, and Kohli all gone to the pavilion. It was a good test for India. It was a good test to see whether the Indian middle order were good enough to withstand the pressure of a good bowling lineup like New Zealand. In the recent past, New Zealand have always had the edge over India in ODI competitions or in Test cricket or T20 cricket just because they prepare very well. They have good plans for the Indian batters. Matt Henry always bowls well against India. So does Mitchell Santner. And one thing is guaranteed when you play the Kiwis that their fielding will be extraordinary. Some of the catches that were taken today were exceptional. If you thought that the one taken by Glenn Phillips was good, then look at the catch taken by Kane Williamson to dismiss Ravindra Jadeja. That was equally good. New Zealand saved at least 20 to 30 runs on that pitch because of their exceptional fielding. And a word on Shreyas Iyer, easily India's best batsman against spin. It was mainly due to his efforts along with Akshar Patel that India staged recovery in those middle overs and got to the total that they did. Akshar batted really well. It's no secret that Akshar is a very good player of spin. He got out at an inopportune moment, but he led the recovery along with Shreyas Iyer. And Iyer, after his comeback to the team, he has been resurgent. 79 of 98 at a very crucial stage when India looked done and dusted and the Kiwis were bowling themselves into a strong position. Too many dot balls, but on that pitch, against that attack, the rotation of the strike was always going to be an issue. None of the Indian players play the sweep shot anymore. Few of them come down the track and hit the spinners. They always played the ball from the crease. One of the main problems with Pakistani batting was also the same. They played all their shots from the crease. Mohammad Rizwan and Shahid Shakil in that partnership against India played plenty of dot balls. They were stuck on their crease. The same with Shreyas Iyer and Akshar Patel today. They were stuck on the crease. Shreyas did make good use of the crease. He was moving back and forth in the crease, trying to disrupt the length of the bowlers. But that pitch had plenty to offer for the spinners. And India have four spinners in their bowling lineup. Still think that India is at least 20 to 30 runs short after the recovery that they had in the middle. because Shreyas Iyer, despite playing a great innings, played a very poor shot to get out. He played that poor shot of Will O'Rourke when he knew that the plan of the Kiwis was to bounce him out. Somebody should have at least spoken to him, at least KL Rahul should have told him what the plan was. Shreyas needs to adapt himself because whenever the teams are bowling short to him, he feels like it's a mandatory task for him to pull every single ball. Why not get out of one or two and let them through to the wicket keeper? You have a better chance to go for the bowling with the slower bowlers at the other end. Michael Bresswell was there, Mitchell Santner was there. You could have taken them apart, especially after the kind of innings that you played. But instead, that was a poor shot to get out. And it's not the first time that he has gotten out playing in that similar fashion. He has gotten out like that plenty of times, far too many times for a player of his class. And once again, KL Rahul, despite looking good, threw his wicket away when the team needed him the most. Rahul in the middle against spin bowling isn't a great option. He struggles a lot. Today he was looking good, but once again, despite getting on to a good start, he threw his wicket away. 23 of 29 balls when this charge was on. India could have easily got a total of 260, but a few poor shots from Iyer, from Rahul, then an exceptional catch to dismiss Ravindra Jadeja, and India was restricted to 249. Now, if there is no dew on that wicket, the pitch will get even slower, and India, with their four spinners, will have the edge. But that doesn't mean they will win, because of late, the best team against spin bowling is New Zealand. They have won the Tri Series against Pakistan without losing a single match. They beat Pakistan twice, they beat South Africa, and they beat them quite easily. And what's even more worrying for India is all their batsmen are in form. Rachin Ravindra scored 100 in the last match. Will O'Rourke scored 100 before that match. Glenn Phillips is in spectacular touch. And Daryl Mitchell always plays well against India. Tom Latham scored 100 too. So the Kiwis are playing great cricket, probably the most informed team in the tournament. India have to bowl and play out of their skin to even have a chance because they are 20 runs short and they should have had a third seamer. Four spinners on that pitch is a bit too much because if the ball piece spinners go for plenty, you may have to turn back to your pacers. Today, the New Zealand pace bowlers picked up the most wickets. Matt Henry picked up 5 wickets. Will O'Rourke picked up 2. And even Kyle Jensen picked up a wicket. So, the pacers were the ones who picked up all the wickets. Despite the wicket offering plenty for the spinners, there was more turn in that wicket than any other wicket played in the tournament. Mitchell Santner, who is usually not a big turner of the ball, was turning the ball a square mile. India, with the likes of Jadeja and Akshar Patel, can have a serious impact on this match. But the problem is New Zealand have far too many left-handers in their lineup. Rachin Ravindra is an excellent player of spin. So is Tom Latham, and both of them would be instrumental in the run chase. Ravindra is the one who sets the tone. And Will Young recently scored 100 in the Test series in India. Kane Williamson isn't in the best of nicks right now, but he's a very good player of spin. And if the total isn't that big, then he can always take his time and get set and then go for the bowling. Both teams have qualified, but India would look to finish the group on top because of two things. That would mean they would play Australia in Dubai for the semis. Now, given the Australian bowling lineup, they do not have too many quality spinners apart from Aaron Zampa. So that would be a good thing for the Indian batting lineup. If they have to face South Africa instead, South Africa have a varied bowling lineup with the likes of Marco Jansen, with the likes of Keshav Maharaj, Kagiso Rabada, Lungi and Giri, Vian Mulder. They have plenty of spin. There are plenty of pacers in their lineup, and even Aiden Markram can chip in with the ball. And with the bat, Heinrich Klaasen, who is a murderer of spin bowling, is in excellent touch. And like in the last ICC tournament that India and South Africa played, it was Klaasen who did the damage against these same Indian spinners. Akshar Patel, Kuldeep Yadav won't have too many fond memories bowling against Heinrich Klaasen. So India South Africa match in Dubai would be a difficult one for India given the kind of batting that South Africa possess and also the bowling. Australia have had the wood over India in ICC tournaments, absolutely right. But they are without their first strength bowling lineup. With no Pat Cummins, with no Josh Hazelwood, with no Mitchell Stark, it's a depleted side. But somehow, like they always do, Australia have qualified to the semi-finals. And against India, they have this mental edge. Somehow Travis Head always scores runs against India. In the last game against Afghanistan, Head looked to be in great touch. Just he's warming up to the semi-final since it's looking like that. And 95% chances are that they may face India in the semis. And India would be trying their level best to outperform New Zealand in this match. It's a match for the bragging rights as well. New Zealand are the favorites of the Champions Trophy 2025. They have the best team, with the best bowlers, with the best spinners, and they are the batsmen who play spin very well. And they are the only team with so many centurions in their lineup. Three of their top five batters have already scored 100 in this ongoing tournament. So it's a big positive for New Zealand. Kane Williamson and the boys have been led excellently by Mitchell Santner. If they defeat India, they would very much be favourites to win the tournament. Because India, even if they face New Zealand in the final, it would be on that same wicket against this same bowling lineup. And it would be extremely difficult to overcome. Somehow, New Zealand have always had this mental edge over India, and India haven't been able to overcome them. Now, will the Indian spinners spin a web against this New Zealand batting? Or will the Kiwis prove to be too strong for the Indian bowling? Let me know in the comment section what you feel. And if you like the content, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel.